Cadre fans, type 2 diabetes rescued by keto fans, super curve honing fans. Bill here, gonna do a little bit different shave than with some new stuff I've never used before. I spent a little time recently making fun of some people over a subject that's close to me, because some authorities came along and decided that they needed to be an authority on something they never tried. Anyhow, that's another story. But in the spirit of making fun of people, I'll probably rectify that and correct that situation. If you want to go to a place where we don't make fun of you behind your back, or in a place where you cannot respond, we can make fun of you to your face and in the open. And in the event that you respond in such a way that we can make more fun of you, we will make more fun of you because we are friends. And that place is The Shaving Cadre, www.theshavingcadre.com. Look for this avatar, that's me. A great diverse bunch of people, and I'll illustrate some of the kindness that can be found there in my shave today. I'd sent off, and just to show you, I'd sent off an expensive shave piece to a guy to try because he wanted to try it. He didn't like it. But shout out to Spider, KJ. He sent some stuff back. What would Spider do? The Shaving Cadre. Okay. And he sent some stuff for me to try that I have never tried because it is controversial. And it is full of things where you can make fun of somebody. Okay. One of those is the soap for today, and that soap is Arco. Surprisingly enough, this is cheap stuff, and I've never used it. I've used the stick soap before. I've used Derby, which just smells a little bit different. Derby smells, I think, a little bit more like a bar of ivory soap, if any of you remember the soap that floats or whatever. This smells a little bit different, but I'm not so sure it's a preferable thing in my wheelhouse. But the report is that you can get really good shaves of this, and it's an inexpensive way to go. Another thing, and this didn't come as a gift, but a lot of people make fun of board brushes because they're like ugly, and look at that thing. Who wants to? You can get something like this for about $10, okay, and it really does a fine job of providing you with a way to make a good lather. So in the finest tradition of the use of this, I'm going to rub the stick on my face, and I am wearing my vintage Shaving Cadre shirt with the excess lather storage in case. I hope this, if Arco's really that big, will this bleach my shirt out? I don't know. Somebody's got to leave me a comment on that and let me know if I'm in danger. If I'm in danger of ruining a vintage shave shirt from the Shaving Cadre. I don't use a shave stick that much, and this is the first time I've ever used a shave stick since I've been shaving around here, and I've probably used a shave stick with a straight before, but I don't remember. So I had the brush soaking, and I'm just kind of sloshing it around. And this does have a unique aroma that I can see why people don't like it. I smelled worse. I smelled stuff that smelled like you were eating out of an ashtray at some old bar room or something like that. And I know my friends at the Cadre, they're going to pick on me on this. They're going to come back. They are. This is really, talking about what this stuff smells like. This is the fun of this stuff. This is absolutely the fun of this stuff. This type of thing. Another thing that KJ sent me a couple pucks of Williams, and I never tried Williams because, I just never tried it. I don't know why. And now that it's the modern Williams is now the vintage 2 Williams because they don't make it anymore. He sent me a puck of that. He sent me a puck of vintage Williams. Okay, and which is just totally exemplary of the kindness and the friendship that you can develop at a place where you have a diverse bunch of people, diverse opinions, where we all accept we're completely shave libertarians. We allow you to have the liberty to do whatever you want with your stuff. Okay? And different, but yet friends. And it's amazing to me. It's an amazing thing to see the difference. Thanks, KJ. For those that you don't know, KJ is an honorable servant in the U.S. Air Force. He's retired. And now he likes to sport hairstyles that they didn't let him when he was back in service. Anyhow, also one of the greatest stunt shavers that I think I've ever seen. This guy did a stunt shave on a Zoom call for the Cadre, where he ate not one of these, I forget what they call these chips that have the ghost peppers and that kind of, and Scotch bonnets or whatever, on where you eat one chip and people are like rolling on the floor. Well, he ate not only one, but he ate 2 of these, and at the same time shaved with an artist club shavette. Okay, it's like, to me it was amazing. I like hot stuff. I would not consider myself a pepperhead. But great stunt shave. Speaking of Zoom calls, okay, if many of you that have listened to me know that I've been able to reverse my diabetes by moving to a very low carb eating plan, and a side effect of that is that you usually lose weight. I've lost a pretty good bit of weight. Okay. Not bragging, but I've lost some weight. Okay, and on the last Zoom call, I consumed a couple more beverages than I probably should have, adult beverages. And it's like, if you do this and you lose that weight and you're changing your body chemistry in terms of what fuel is burned, watch how much you drink. Okay, because I've regretted that, and in the future I will probably not go more than 1 or 2. So another thing for my friends to pick on me in. Okay, the shave tool today. Some of you have been waiting for this. Okay, this is the one of the new Dovos. You can kind of see the color in the scales. It's a beautiful thing. This is what do they call this? Facherbeit, I think is how it's pronunciated. Okay. And this is a new worked razor based on and stamped right on the back. Okay. Let's see if I can get it in there, is the forging information. I don't know if that's going to be something that will be easy to read. Okay. But if you can't read it, it's forged in Solingen, Germany between 1967, 1971. Okay, so it's an old forging, ice-tempered stainless, 1.4034. And I think that steel is sometimes referred to in more common U.S. terms as 420C. I think I looked that up. Anyway, this is only the second stainless steel razor that I have. And I think one of the unique things about this is when Dovo was moving their stuff around or moving to a different location, they found 1,000 of these blanks that had that forging in that era. I don't know if they just never really sold. I don't really know, but they gave these things and they numbered them. They made 500 of these with the blue scales and 500 of these with the red scales. So they are a limited edition, and when they're gone, they will be gone. I don't know if Dovo will ever commission a reforging of this. I don't know, but it is a pretty unique piece, and this is number 44 out of 500 for the blue. Okay. This is my second shave with this. I took this, and in terms of making fun of this, there are a lot of people that make fun of Dovo and like to pick on them and that kind of stuff. And this kind of goes along with the theme of the shave. But the first shave on this, I did it with a factory edge. Now, the Jared, the guy that I bought this from, he took one out of stock for his own keeping. He thought he was going to get a blue one. Okay, he missed out on getting this. He mistakenly thought blue was on the side, red was and he picked a red one for himself, opened it up. And that particular one probably never even, ever was even honed, okay? Which, as my opinion, as somebody who sharpens my own stuff, it doesn't matter to me whether it's sharpened or not, because ultimately that thing's going to get dull and it's going to need to be sharpened. And I think part of straight razor shaving is you should learn how to sharpen your own razors. However you accomplish that, by my method or somebody else's method or your own method or whatever you do, you should do your own thing. I did my little check with this, and I thought, this is not bad. This is, and then I thought, well, let me see if I can touch it up. And I went on a flat strop, paddle strop that had 10th micron CBN on that. And then I went to a paddle leather to dress it up, and I did my little test. I looked under the scope. There were a couple of places in here that I didn't really like, but I thought, I don't know, let me see if I can feel it. And I don't know if that's what I was feeling, but it didn't like drag any cuts through my face or anything. And it shaved pretty good. It was probably, I'm going to say that one, just having hit a pasted strop and a leather strop, was probably out of whatever razor sampling of razors I've got where I've taken them with a quote unquote factory edge, this was probably number 2. Okay. Now, I may attribute that to the unique thing about this, and that this has a terribly, terribly thin and noisy grind to it. Okay. And I really like it. This is not a cheap shave piece. If that interests you, you can get one of these. Okay. They're still available. So let's see how the shave goes. Maybe I ought to get a little bit of fresh water up here. I don't know if Arco has a tendency to dry. It's pretty thick though. I had a little bit more hair than I usually do. I usually, since I started shaving around here, I like to shave a little more frequently than what I was when I was not shaving that part, just for the practice, so I can work on my technique with it. You're just moving across here. This is cutting beautiful. Better, much better than it was with the factory edge. And what you need to do, if you're not a straight shaver, and even if you are a straight shaver, you should work on your honing method so that you don't need to even think about a factory edge. It comes to you. You know what you need to do, and you hone it up your way to your liking, whatever piece that is. Whether it's from Dovo, whether it's from somebody in France, whether it's from a custom razor maker. because they all are destined to become dull at some point in their life. Unless, of course, you're looking for a showpiece and the uniqueness of it, and you want to keep it. That's not me. I don't have any showboat razors. Everything I buy, I want to use. So what do I got hanging off there? Is it brush hair? What if I do a hanging brush hair test? I don't know. For those of you that are into honing, what I did with this on the super curve method, I used I initially took, and I don't know why I'm shaving down there, I'm yakking so much, I'm not even paying any attention to what I'm doing. It's not my normal pattern, but we'll work with it. I did take the stabby point off on a piece of glass. It was pretty stabby. It was pretty sharp and stabby. And I looked at it. I'm looking at it and just go, but that sucker's going to get me. I don't have, this performs as well as the couple of real thin grinds that I have. One or two from Germany, or one or two from France, and a couple from Germany that are really thin, that are in the same classification as I would call it. I'm going to put a little bit more water on the tough part I want to do. For those of you that may be listening and interested in how I hone that, what I did was I took long dimension jarred plate on a, it had already been done, okay, and I did it on a long dimension translucent arc, and I did put a 12,000 grit Superstone slurry, Nanowa Superstone slurry on there, and I wanted to see what kind of curvature in my scope that was on the edge. And on that particular, and it may very well be that the jarred plate was based on information that he had been given from masters, for century masters handed down on how you should crown a stone, that those radiuses are what, and that could have been what wound up in the plate. It doesn't really matter to me because I'm working on several different curvatures. But this particular one matches because I did the magic marker thing. This one matches up on that long dimension. So I don't know if this ever hit a flat stone. Okay, so I honed that up, and what I did was I brought that edge to my edge on my standard, and then I went to a back beveling with a more curved stone. I didn't go to the intermediate, which would be crosswise. I could have done it on the short dimension jarred plate. I went to the one that I fashioned by hand because this is so thin, so thin. The grind that the amount of what you see from the side as the bevel is so small, and on something where the steel is thicker, you will see more of that than something that's so very thin. When you touch it, it just becomes very tiny. So I went ahead and went in and I back beveled that, what I call the back bevel and the super curve, initially with a, and that super curve back bevel was with, on a soft arc on the really curvy radius that I made. I don't know, I think it's 3 foot radius, I'm not sure, I can't remember. But I used a 5,000 grit Superstone slurry on that and did the back bevel, and that is I'm working. And when you're working from one curve to the other, you go back and forth, especially on something this thin, you go back and forth very, very quickly, even with a light pressure. And I did go back and forth a couple of times, and ultimately what I decided to do, because I think, and I probably, when I made that real curvy one, it was an experiment for me, that real curvy one, and I don't know if I'm going to do this or not. Okay, but I wish I'd gotten a black arc and shaped that. The black arc would be much, much more difficult. Much more difficult to shape than the soft arc was. But I think what the even though I finished that arc up to, I think, 1,000 grit wet and dry, it is, that stone, because it is a soft arc, does have the potential to, on something so thin where you're pushing the steel to its limits of how you can get that steel to curve and angle up and create that almost a curvy steeple like edge. It's pushing the limits of what the steel will take. And I did notice there was a couple of places where I'd get a little under 40 power scope, and there's a difference. I looked at something, I pulled out what's listed as a 30 power loop, and I'm looking at that, and it's like this is nowhere near even the 20 power on my scope. This isn't even close. Okay, so Genuine Glass Optics stereo binocular microscope, where I'm looking and I'm seeing little chips much smaller than the defects that were originally in this that I did see. So I worked them out on the long axis again, and ultimately worked them out on the long axis, and then went to the Suhiro 20K and started getting to where I liked. So now I'm using a little more soap here. Who is it that says this stuff smells like a urinal puck? What's up with that? I just didn't get, although I never, put my nose down and smell a urinal puck. And when you pee in the backyard, there's no urinal pucks out there anyhow. So I did get the edge on. I got the apex formed, doing what I do. I don't sit there and look and see how straight, how flat, how whatever it is. I'm looking at the edge, and I'm testing the edge in my honing method to try and find out what do I have to do, in my experience, to make this shave piece give me a smooth and easy shave and have it and cut my facial hair the way I want it to. And I got there, I got to that point, and the back bevel was kind of gone. Okay, at that point. So what I did after that, I thought, well, I'm not going to go back to an arc. I didn't super curve. I did the short dimension on the Jared plate with a conical, and that conical cuts fast, but I know that caudicle to be something that I have never been able to create a finished edge on that, okay? I'm not going to get rid of it because it does cut fast and it doesn't have the tendency to aggressively attack the way I felt what I was getting on the slurred Arkansas. So I did that, and I did a back bevel, and then when I ultimately finished and I went through my strop progression on this and got to where I was doing my packing peanut test. Okay, there's maybe one razor that was in the range with this, and that was a Philly that I did for Matt, where it was just, almost, there was no resistance. It just went right in, so, and that, a lot of that has to do with not only the edge, but how thin it is, because thinner, any way you slicing, get it? Any way you slice it, thinner goes through better than fatter, okay? Cut a carrot with a chef knife, and then cut a carrot with a very, very thin paring knife, like one of these cheap $5 paring knives or whatever, even if it doesn't have a good edge. And you tell me which one slices the carrot a little bit better. So, and then through this series of strops I went, and the only flat thing I hit was, I have a flat bench roost strop that I hit this. And so far, this is a quite delightful shave. I gotta watch my time. I don't want to race through a straight shave. So for me, this is a delightful shaver. This is just, I looked at these when they first came out and I passed over them. Because to me, there just wasn't anything I didn't think about the grind and a very, very thin ground stainless. I just didn't think about that. And it seemed, with a plastic scale, it seemed rather ordinary to me. And this is anything but ordinary. This is extraordinary. It's very, very nice. And even though I don't really care too much about geometry, there might be a little bit, I don't think anybody with a flat stone would have any problem honing this, contrary to some of the popular belief. And this razor is completely free of a frown. That experts say are caused by the way I hone. And here in the stash, working more slowly as I develop my skills, so that a little faster movement cuts a little easier. I'm going pretty slow, and I can hear them. I don't know if the camera, my telephone, will pick that up, but you can kind of hear them pinging a little bit. Even at a slow. I guess that's where they get the singing razor from. As probably as close on 2 passes is what I got for the longest time on 3 passes, or 3.5. And I'm going to go for the final pass and maybe do some cleanup a little bit after that. But this is good. It's a delightful tool for those of you who have an interest in that. Don't forget to check out at the Shaving Cadre under member videos section. There's a whole bunch of guys over there that makes shave videos. A number of them experienced open blade shavers, other tools as well. If you catch this and you're one of those bearded guys that wants to understand, it's a good place to watch and maybe learn. You go to the Cadre and ask for help on anything you need. And just a beautiful against the green pass there, all over, all around. My compliments to the craftsman at Dovo on the manufacture of this fine piece. Even if you didn't hone up Jared's razor for him, mine shaves pretty good. Although I did rehone him myself. My compliments. And I mentioned Jared Connerty. You could buy one of these. He still has some of these. You could buy one of these from him. He has been my mentor in my greatest mentor in this honing practice. I'm also going to mention John in Norway, JPO. Great guy who loves honing and shaving and honing of all different types. As the two people that kind of followed and kind of got me into this, and I'm really, really glad and thankful for both of them. definitely a lot. I've been shaving mostly with a 7/8 Ti. It's a lot easier getting around with a 6/8. Maybe I shouldn't have bought all them 7/8s. I made a video on my use of a packing peanut to evaluate the edge all the way across. It was my goal. If you're honing, it's a good way to evaluate your work all the way across the edge, because I like to have that edge, the performance from heel to toe, all the way the same. I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I am. Chasing the baby. And for those of you wondering, Arco ain't that really all that bad. So, all this hoopla about Arco being the most horrible soap. If it's all you had, it's inexpensive. You could shave with it a lot better than you could with just plain water. So I believe we're gonna call that a good shave. Really good shave. Nice shave. Nice straight shave. Do the official alum test to see a little bit of tingle, not very little, just about what you want. Okay, where I've noticed that I've and I would venture to say that after a couple of uses with that piece will smooth that out, but nothing. It's just a nice feel there with that. And wash the alum off. I've been using a little bit of Sterling's aftershave balm rather than on the lip and the chin. Those of you who may have seen my first shave around may remember. It was a little bit rough. I've had worse, but it was a little rough. I'll use another controversial because these people won't cough up any advertising money, any support, even though, you know. So a little bit of Thayer's unscented witch hazel, and then here's the other controversial thing. Here's the controversial. Here's the bottle. And KJ, it's empty because there was a little teeny hole in the bottom of it. And I'm so thankful when you pack this up, and this is a lesson to anybody that packs and sends up, make sure you put any liquid inside of a Ziploc plastic bag, because this one, I don't know, somebody must have bumped it, but there was a little teeny hole, and some had gotten into the plastic bag. It didn't all come out, but I'm thinking, what? And I wiped it off, and it wasn't the top loose or anything like that. And then I took it and I squeezed it, and I saw some droplets coming out of there. So I did move this into another thing. But the other controversial thing, lilac vegetal, the vegetable, the veg. Okay, so I did put it in another thing. I didn't have a glass thing to decant it in, because some of the people who said that some of the negatives of this are interaction with other Clubman type products, may be a reaction to the plastic bottle, because they were originally in glass. And I don't know if the benzyl alcohol, I don't know it, but there is something in there. So I did put it in another thing. So, and that comes out generous. So there we are, the first time that I get to use the veg, and see if I am indeed what they call one of the ones who is chosen. They say this changes and moves to a powdery. I don't get the nursing home cat pee thing. So maybe I am one of the chosen ones as well. So that's the shave. Thanks for tuning in. It is January the 28th, Saturday. I hope everybody enjoys this weekend and this coming week. And January's almost over, folks. It's been fun. Look me up if you got any questions, or leave comments in there. And I did a controversial YouTube thing not too long ago, where it was the only time I ever asked for people to like and subscribe. And I told, if you don't like what I'm talking about, dislike and do the thumbs down. And guess what? I got more subscribers, and nobody gave me the thumbs down for my psycho rant. So, and I didn't put that one up on the Shaving Cadre, and it could breach the terms of use, because the Shaving Cadre is a gentlemanly forum where discussion of things are open, and you don't have the authoritarian view that I was criticizing. So, and I thought it has nothing to do with them. It'd be best that I just leave that off of there. So, have a great one, everyone. Bill, out.